What's up, guys? J&J Reviews here, back with another review. And this week we're tackling the indie, unheard of movie Colossal, starring Anne Hathaway and Jason Sudeikis. Jamin, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty darn good.
Awesome. Well, Colossal, it's a movie not a lot of people have probably heard of or seen much about. I went and checked it out. You did not see it, but you saw the trailer. So, based off the trailer, are you interested in this movie, and what would you expect from it?
Yeah, I thought this movie was really interesting. I like both the main actors, Anne Hathaway and Jason Sudeikis. I think both are fantastic. And yeah, I thought the trailer was really interesting because it was kind of one of those concepts that we always bring up that was kind of different. And it also looked pretty funny as well. And so I felt like that was a really interesting match again. And I feel like everything kind of was set for this movie to be pretty successful. And so, yeah, I was absolutely interested in maybe checking it out.
Yeah, and one of the key things you said there that I wanted to start off right away on is you said it looked funny, which I agree with. Trailer makes this look like kind of a goofy comedy movie, kind of like it's kind of a little off-kilter indie humor and stuff. And the first thing I'll say, just going into the movie, that's what I expected. I expected an indie comedy with it's got that goofy premise, and I thought it would just be a comedy, so everything would just be funny and stuff. And while I'd say that there is some jokes in this movie's really not funny. It's not really, I would not call it a comedy. The second half of the movie is pretty much played completely straight and dark, and it just gets super serious on itself. And I think I'll get into, of course, more of just my first thoughts on it. I'd say this movie's too serious for its own good, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, that is disappointing to hear. That was kind of one of the main things that I think that was going to be appealing for this movie because it's kind of funny. Anne Hathaway's character just kind of gets knocked out of the blue, and it's like what's going on, and there's a lot of funny jokes to go along with that, and it looks like maybe the trailer had all those all the jokes that were going to
Yeah,
be.
those are every single joke I think in the, and those are all in the first. It's like 45 minutes. But yeah, it's
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
crazy.
the premise. Yeah, Anne Hathaway, she's like going through these weird like she's having kind of a breakdown and stuff, and she's always drinking, and she doesn't know she's waking up sore and stuff, and then she looks and she eventually, this is all in the trailer, so I'm not spoiling, but she finds out that she is somehow connected to the monster that's terrorizing cities in some way. And that premise, again, it's really weird. And I thought this could be the Swiss Army Man of this year, just based off of it, just if it was funny enough. It took its premise and did something unique with it. But before I just get into all that, first I'll say Anne Hathaway, really good in this movie. And I'll say I wasn't a fan of her lately because I think she went down, she got a little pretentious on us. She thought pretty big of herself. She did that singing movie that she won for. And I think now Jennifer Lawrence has taken over that role, taking herself too seriously. Now Anne
Mhm.
Hathaway's going to come back to earth a little bit. And so it's nice to hear in a role like this, and she was really fun. But the star of the movie for me, Jason Sudeikis, the script doesn't do his character any favors in the direction they take him, but I thought for what they did with his character, it's something I haven't really seen from him before. I thought he really knocked it out of the park. I thought he was phenomenal. Even though I didn't love where his character went, he was really good. So props to the two main leads.
Yeah, obviously he's a great actor, and I really like that comparison of Jennifer Lawrence and Anne Hathaway. I think that actually probably does correctly. That's a good comparison because I think that's completely true at this point. But yeah, I think that's good to hear. I obviously think the premise was very interesting, and I agree. I think this one could have been, at least from the trailer, the Swiss Army Man of this year. Got kind of a lot of different concepts that were brought together. Even a little bit of Godzilla feel in it, and so I thought that was kind of interesting. But yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and the worst part about that premise is I liked how weird it was at first. When the movie tries to explain its premise and it does it seriously, like there's no jokes when they explain it and they show like flashbacks and stuff. Like if they played it for laughs, like if they played it more comedic, then I wouldn't sit there picking it apart and say it's stupid because they know it's stupid. But I think they knew it was stupid, but they didn't act like they knew it was stupid. The director, Nacho Violando or something like that. This is, I think, his first movie, or at least his first big movie, and I think he definitely he took it a little too serious. I think a more mature filmmaker would have understood when to throw in more jokes and make it lighthearted more throughout. He kind of did all that in the first half. Then he had this story he wanted to tell and these messages he wanted to get across. I think he just went too hard at them, and they didn't all land. Like there's some symbolism with drinking and alcohol and stuff that doesn't land like he wants it to at all. It doesn't come through. Really, nothing symbolism wise or metaphorically works in this movie. Just would have been a lot better if it was just played for entertainment purposes, which unfortunately, again, it wasn't.
So did you feel like the director went, with too much risks, or do you think he played it more safe? What I'm hearing is kind of sounds like maybe too many risks.
Yeah, and I won't blame him for doing something different because I expected a comedy, and I appreciate that he went a different direction with it because I mean he took a lot of risks, and while again they all didn't pay off, I would say he took one too many, but I'm not going to knock him for taking them. I just think it didn't work for me fully. But overall, I haven't really said I do like the movie overall. I think it's a fun. Overall, I still had a good time watching the movie. It was fun, even when it got too serious for me because the two leads did a great job and just the story. I didn't know what was going to happen next. That was one of the good parts of him taking all those risks. I genuinely didn't know where it was going, and I liked that about it. It didn't all work out for me, so it wasn't great like I thought it was going to be, but it was just a solid movie overall.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would agree. I think that any director, especially a new one like that, that comes in and takes risks, I applaud that. I mean, at least they're going out there trying to do something different, trying to hit the home run rather than just completely just play it safe, which we see a lot of movies do, especially some of these bigger ones that are marketed really high. But um, it's kind of the opposite in this one, where it's kind of less marketed, and therefore, uh, you know, instead of playing that safe and kind of disappointing the fans, he's trying to go for more of these surprise and maybe win this someone some awards. But obviously, it seems like uh, didn't quite hit that way, but it was still an enjoyable movie.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say that sums it up pretty well. Doesn't hit. It had all the ingredients to be a great movie, and it just kind of mixed some things up where it shouldn't have combined the wrong spices, if you will, and it just came out. It was good. Like I enjoyed it. I don't know if I need to see it again though, because again, if it was funnier, then I'd want to see it again because it had that lighthearted feel. But just got too dark for its own good. But I had a good time with it. Two leads, Jason Sudeikis and Hathaway, are great. Jason Sudeikis gets to do something different, and I think he does it really well. But then and the visuals in this movie, I'll also say, are pretty good for what they're trying to do. Again, those are more on the goofy side of things, which, again, more goofy when it should have been goofy at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, just kind of wrapping it up with the score here, I'd say it's Colossal. It's a solid 7 out of 10 because I think this is a good, well-made movie, well acted. Everything about it is good, but I wanted it to be great, and it could have been. But I think I want to see what this director does next because I think once he gets more sure of himself and now that he has this under his belt, I think he can deliver us something really special in the future.
Yeah, I think this will be one that will be a good one for T-Mobile Tuesdays free movie rentals. I think it's definitely one I'll still want to check out, but I don't know if I want to, based on what I'm hearing, and go out and spend money on it too much at least. And but I do definitely think you're right. I think it's worth a watch, and I think that the being being the director's first movie, and this one turning out to be kind of interesting and something new. I definitely agree. I think seeing what he does eventually with his other movies, I think will be very interesting to see.
Yeah, and I'm usually all one for pro going to the theaters, but I'd say unless you just absolutely love the trailer and this looks like right up your alley, I'd say this is definitely a safe rental. It'll be a great rental too because you'll have a
Hmm.
good time with it just renting it. You don't need to run out and see it again unless it just super attracts you. But I'd say it's a really solid rental, and it didn't live up to what I thought it was going to be. But it's a nice. It's like last year we saw Elvis and Nixon right before the summer movie started. I'd say this is another Elvis and Nixon, which is just a nice smaller movie to get you. Just that last movie you can watch where you can just kind of sit back and relax before the big summer explosions start.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree. I think that was one thing I definitely enjoyed about Elvis and Nixon was it was just something that was, you're right, just simple, easy to understand, and a good storytelling. And yeah, perfect way to start that kind of that crazy summer movie time that we would be going into eventually.
Yeah, because now from here on out, we're just gonna be shoving that popcorn in our face and watching explosions.
A lot of those.
Yeah. So thank you guys for watching this review. Let us know down below if you've seen Colossal or if you're interested in checking it out. And stay tuned because, as we've mentioned just now, it's going to be summer movie season, so we're going to have the reviews flying up left and right. There's a new movie almost every week coming out in the summer, so watch out for those. J&J Reviews.
Sign out.